When people live under the influence of consciousness slavery, they are often controlled by external factors such as society, religion, or politics, and are unaware of their true essence. In this state, they live in separation from their divine nature and often seek guidance, protection, or salvation from external sources, without realizing that they already carry within themselves a connection to God or divine energy. So the question arises, what is God? Is there a way to know if this is true? In this video, we will clarify these questions. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay updated with our latest videos on spiritual topics, inner awakening, and philosophical insights. First and foremost, it's important to understand that God, in essence, is not even a frequency. God simply is. The challenge lies in the limitations of human language and our cognitive ability to conceptualize the vast, unfathomable nature of existence. These constraints put us in a peculiar position where, in an attempt to explain the indescribable, we must resort to imprecise language. As the Hermetic teachings in the abelian state, God is something that cannot be fully understood by the human mind. God simply exists beyond the confines of our perception. God just is. This is a profound statement that points to a deeper reality that our minds struggle to grasp. To illustrate this point, let me offer an example that may help you better understand what I'm trying to convey. In deep meditation, there is a state where you cease to feel, see, or hear anything. Your mind becomes quiet and you think of nothing at all. In this state, you simply are. You know that you exist, but apart from this awareness, nothing else seems to be present. This is what could be referred to as the presence or awareness of the All. The All is not something you can define with words, for it is that void, an absolute nothingness, that is fully aware of itself. And from this state of nothingness, from this void, infinite possibilities emerge. The void holds within it the infinite potential to become anything, to experience everything, and to become aware of countless forms and experiences. This is the paradox of existence. Nothingness is, in fact, the birthplace of everything. Now, why do I refer to God as a frequency? The reason is simple. I use this concept to bridge the gap between abstract spiritual ideas and our more grounded conceptual understanding of the world. Everything that is tangible, that has form, can be considered a creation, and each creation, whether physical or metaphysical, has an underlying frequency or animating energy. This energy, which could be described as a vibration, forms the basis of all existence. This is the very concept that Nikola Tesla was pointing to when he said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." At its core, this statement is incredibly profound. If we truly understand it, we can grasp that everything, every object, every thought, every being, is simply energy vibrating at different frequencies. The fundamental energy from which all things arise comes from the void of infinite potential, the source we call God, or the All. Some authors, like Dolores Cannon, contrast the idea of God being this void with other perspectives, such as David Icke's view of God being pure light or love. Yet the common thread that ties these ideas together is that this infinite light, or love, or void, represents the raw potential that brings forth all manifestations. This awareness, the source, imagines realms and realities into existence. According to the Kabbalah, the entire realm of manifestation is viewed as a dream within the mind of the All. The All is constantly dreaming infinite worlds and perpetually manifesting them. This concept of endless creation is not bound by time or space. The manifestations may appear to have limits, but in truth, there is no end to the process. It is continuous, ever evolving. The fundamental idea here is that creation is not random. It is an intentional act of thought. The All is the unlimited potential of creation. As such, we may not be able to define the indefinable with precision, but we can begin to understand the basic method of creation itself. That method is imagination. The source, or infinite consciousness, imagines things into being. Whether it is through light, love, or the sheer act of will, everything that exists starts with a thought, a creation of the mind. This is the core principle of manifestation. The power of imagination is not limited to the divine or the infinite. It is something we, too, can tap into. Just as the All imagines and creates, we are also capable of imagining and bringing into reality the things we desire. The question is whether we can align ourselves with that creative force, the flow of universal consciousness. Our connection to the source is not something distant or unattainable, it is present within us all. By aligning our imagination and thoughts with the All, we can access its infinite potential and create worlds of our own. Here's another quote from Nikola Tesla to help you grasp the concept of the All as it is all-encompassing and our relationship with it. Now, where do we fit into this endless process of creation? We are the presence of God at the point in which we exist. In my opinion, this is the most accurate way to describe our existence. We are the individualization of the All, a tiny degree of consciousness that is awake, yet still connected to the superconsciousness. The more we become aware of the All, the more access we gain to it, and the more we can participate in the creation process of the All. This is why, like the All, you too can imagine things into being. As Neville Goddard taught, your dominant focus and attention on any subject will give it life, and it will eventually become a reality. The key to this is thinking purely as the All thinks. But as humans, we struggle with doubts, and so our lack of resolve and uncertain intentions often make things unpredictable. However, we possess the same capabilities as the All, albeit on a much smaller scale. These capabilities can be expanded with practice, dedication, and the desire to work with the will of the All. When the masses come together in shared intentions and try to manifest together, the power of this collective force becomes much stronger on a larger scale. This is, in part, how wars come into being. But if we begin to awaken from this collective dream, we can shift this power to work in our favor. God, in essence, meets you according to the expectations you have of it. This is why it is futile to assign any specific form or image to God. Throughout history, humanity has created countless representations and attributes for God, giving God forms that align with human concepts and understanding. Each of these specific images of God appears real to those who worship or admire them, because they are experiencing the version of God that they themselves have created. In this sense, your imagination is your God, as Neville Goddard famously stated. He emphasized that our thoughts, beliefs, and imagination shape the world around us, and in this context, they shape our perception of the divine. A fascinating 19th century book, Liber Chaos by Peter J. Carroll, discusses how magic operates. The core principle of magic is simple yet profound. It exists in the mind of the magician. Any ritual or process the magician uses is insignificant, as long as the magician can impress their subconscious mind with the desired result. This allows the magician to harness the power of their imagination and intention to affect the world. With this power, magicians can even summon and control entities, such as demons, simply by visualizing them and directing their energy. This concept of creating through imagination mirrors the way the All creates. Just as we bring things into existence through our thoughts, the All creates the universe by imagining it into being. Now, let's take a moment to think about an example that has occurred throughout history. Imagine a group of people praying to a pagan god for rain. They may even sacrifice a child, believing that this act will ensure the god's mercy, thus granting them the rain they desperately need. To modern sensibilities, this seems absurd. However, we must consider why such rituals have been practiced throughout human history. If these rituals are supposed to have no effect, why do people continue to perform them? The answer lies in the power of belief. It's not that the god is actively doing something. Rather, it is the collective imagination of those involved that brings the god to life. When they sacrifice a child, it's not the god acting, but the deep belief and intention of the people that imbue the ritual with power. Their belief, supported by centuries, even millennia, of tradition, creates the reality they experience. This phenomenon underscores a profound truth. Whatever version of God you have in your mind is the right version for you. Your relationship with God will be shaped by your own state of being and the level of consciousness you possess. People experience God in deeply personal ways, and these experiences vary widely depending on the individual's beliefs, cultural influences, and spiritual practices. Some people find spirituality in nearly every religion, and there are those who attribute their very survival or transformation to the specific religion they follow. But, ultimately, these experiences reflect the version of God that has been fashioned by their imagination. This is why I previously mentioned that every description of God tends to carry an element of ego. When we try to define or describe God, we are often projecting our own beliefs, limitations, and desires onto a force that transcends human comprehension. The process of humanizing God and assigning human attributes to it is natural, but it may not fully capture the essence of what God truly represents. If you analyze the various gods of different faiths, you'll see a common thread of humanization, where gods are portrayed with human-like characteristics and personalities. Even when we try to view God through the lens of unconditional love, this love is often framed by our human understanding. God may not entirely reflect this love in the way we expect, because there is a price to be paid for the love of any deity, whether that price is sacrifice, devotion, or something else. However, despite the limitations in how we perceive God, the personal relationship you develop with God will always respond to you in the way you imagine and expect it to. The All, the infinite source of creation, will meet you where you are, according to your level of awareness and consciousness. This means that your version of God will be uniquely yours, and it will evolve as your understanding of yourself and the universe deepens. You are the individualization of the All, and you play a crucial role in carrying the game of creation forward. Your thoughts, your intentions, and your beliefs are not just reflections of the divine. They are an active part of the divine process. As we move forward in our spiritual journeys, we are constantly co-creating with the All. The more we align ourselves with the universal will and deepen our understanding of the infinite potential that exists within and around us, the more we can access the power to manifest and transform. The key lies in recognizing that our imagination is not a separate, limited force. It is an integral part of the divine fabric of existence. By embracing this understanding, we can participate more fully in the creation process, contributing our individual light to the vast tapestry of the universe. Not every deity or spiritual being from the past may have been entirely created by our imagination, as reality is much more complex than a simple illusion. This is where I want to introduce the concept of a cargo cult. I won't go into great detail, but I will provide a link in the description to an article that explains it thoroughly. To put it simply, a cargo cult arises when a more advanced species or civilization encounters a primitive one, bringing with them goods, gadgets, and advanced knowledge. In these encounters, the primitive species often deifies the advanced species, attributing divine qualities to them. A more modern example of this can be found in the history of indigenous people, where the arrival of Europeans on their islands was prophesied as the coming of the Messiah, bringing an end to suffering. This idea may sound familiar, but the point is clear. These encounters, marked by the perception of something greater, led to the deification of the newcomers. Now, consider the history and religions of the world through the lens of the possibility that advanced beings have existed and may still exist. Hinduism speaks of the blue beings and their advanced aircrafts called Vimanas, while the Bible mentions the Nephilim, and the Sumerian tablets tell tales of the Anunnaki. The Quran speaks of jinns and angels like Gabriel. These references paint a picture that could suggest the presence of beings beyond our understanding or imagination, beings that may have played a role in shaping our history and consciousness. In fact, there is more than enough evidence suggesting the existence of advanced civilizations or beings that were present on our planet. This evidence leads me to consider the possibility that other beings, for reasons unknown, have visited or influenced humanity throughout time and were deified in the process. It is important to recognize, however, that not everything on Earth exists solely because of human imagination. There could indeed be other entities or forces at play, forces that have shaped our consciousness, myths, and religions. These beings appear across our stories, our tales, and our religions, some of them benevolent, while others might have been malevolent. Just as with Yeshua, Jesus, the question of whether he was a man from earth or from another realm seems pointless. What matters more is understanding that Yeshua was one of the transcendent masters who brought great knowledge to humanity, and in doing so, became deified. It is unnecessary to debate whether certain figures were real or not. What's far more crucial is to understand how reality, as we perceive it, has been shaped up until this point. The process by which myths, spiritual beings, and events have been woven into the fabric of human history is something we can change, provided we gain a deeper understanding of this reality. If we accept the idea that some of our deities and spiritual beings may have come from outside our normal perception of the world, it opens up a larger perspective about the world we live in and the potential forces, both known and unknown, that have influenced it. By recognizing that our imagination may not be the sole creator of everything we experience, we also begin to see the potential for a much broader scope of existence, one where higher beings, forces, or civilizations may have contributed to the shaping of our consciousness, our myths, and our understanding of divinity. Whether these forces were truly benevolent or malevolent, they are part of the intricate tapestry of human history. The more we understand this, the more we can change our own understanding of the world, recognizing that much of what we call reality is malleable, influenced by our beliefs, our perceptions, and potentially the unseen forces that have guided our evolution. The key takeaway up until this point is this: the all responds to your frequency, or what you can also call your vibrational state of being, your energy, and so on. Dr. David R. Hawkins outlines this concept in depth in his book Power versus Force, which includes a detailed chart that links emotions to their corresponding frequencies or vibration rates. If you want to gain knowledge more efficiently, here's a tip. You can read the entire book in just 20 minutes in a summarized form on short form. Power versus Force is one of my favorite books, but it's quite lengthy. Short form condenses it into a clear, easy-to-digest structure, preserving the most valuable insights. If you're not a fan of reading, you can also listen to it as an audio version. Short form has summarized over 1,000 popular non-fiction books, including many New York Times bestsellers. I personally recommend it for extracting the most valuable information from a book while saving time. Short form even offers one-page summaries that you can read in just a few minutes to help you decide if a book interests you. Many of the books I recommend on this channel, including The Power of the Subconscious Mind, The Power of Now, and Think and Grow Rich, are available on short form. If you want to sign up, the link is in the description, offering a free 5-day trial and a 20% discount on an annual subscription for Stellar Thoughts viewers. They're not sponsoring this video, but if you sign up through the link, it helps support this channel. Now, back to the topic. Whatever is on this chart represents your dominant state of being, a frequency to which the all will respond. The all doesn't respond to words. It doesn't communicate through language. The all responds to who you are being. This means that whatever you firmly believe in, your state of being will manifest in your reality. You are your own reality. You are the awareness of the all at the point where you exist. Your human imagination in this sense is God, as Neville Goddard puts it. Even quantum physics is now exploring the concept of a probabilistic universe, as opposed to the old deterministic Newtonian model. The probabilistic universe opens up the possibility of the multiverse, endless existences, and infinite versions of you. So if you change your inner reality, you change your physical reality, and you are shifted to a version of the world that mirrors this change, though with slight adjustments to your personal life to accommodate the change in your state of being. This is why the law of assumption community constantly says that circumstances do not matter. What matters is our focus and attention, which shape what manifests in our lives. At our core, we are just clumps of energy. We are vibrating at a specific frequency according to our dominant state of being. By changing our frequency, we change our world. Therefore, magic is real. You can create your own rituals, and if you believe in them with full conviction, they will work. You can serve the demonic, and the demonic will respond. There's no inherent power in the blood of an owl, but in the mind of the black magician. As long as you can change your state of being by impressing your subconscious mind, you can shape your reality. This is also why religions and spiritual healers are able to heal, as described by Dr. Joseph Murphy in The Power of the Subconscious Mind. The belief that a person has in their respective deity or faith is what heals them, not the specific religion or practice itself. When you send the right frequency to the all responds and does the rest. This is the power of aligning with the frequency of your desired outcome and understanding that we are co-creators of our reality. By changing our internal state, we open the door for the external world to align with our deepest beliefs and intentions. As long as we live our lives through the egoic lens and continue to believe in the illusion of separation, we will inevitably bring chaos into the world. The question then arises, why is it that the seed of evil is planted within us by an all-loving God? Various researchers have attempted to answer this, suggesting that our minds have been tampered with or even hijacked by other beings to separate us from the divine. One such theory is the Anunnaki theory, which posits that these ancient beings may have played a role in creating this separation. Similarly, Dolores Cannon suggests that planet Earth is a kind of school where we are sent to learn spirituality and burn off karma in order to advance to other worlds. This is why, when we come to Earth, we forget who we are. Our religious inclinations also reflect this idea, that Earth is a temporary realm designed to test our faith. All of these theories ultimately say the same thing. When we come to this world, we forget our true nature. We are born with a veil of amnesia, so we have no memory of how we arrived here or why we are here. We enter this reality in a state of separation, disconnected from the divine. Unless we are extraordinarily lucky and our parents are awake to the truth, we remain unaware of our true essence. The seed of evil, therefore, begins with separation. It starts with survival instincts, when we see things as us versus them, and when we live only through the ego, the sense of separateness grows. I believe this separation is by design. As Neville Goddard wisely said, God became man so that man may become God. To have an authentic human experience, you must forget that you are God. A rock must forget that it is the essence of the all in order to truly experience what it is like to be a rock. This amnesia, this veil of forgetfulness, is what drives creation forward. It generates unpredictability, making the game of life more interesting. Without this veil, there would be no challenge, no mystery, and no growth. However, the downside of this forgetfulness is that unconscious people, those who are still living from the ego, can commit actions that are inconceivable to a loving God. Wars, cruelty, and other forms of evil arise because the all allows for all possibilities. Evil becomes an option when people are disconnected from their true essence and the divine knowledge that they are more than just their ego. Unconscious people will often choose evil, not because they are inherently bad, but because they lack the divine knowledge and awareness of their higher self. This is a crucial point. As long as people live through the ego and not through their divine center, their I amness, evil will persist. The ego itself is the seed of evil. It creates division, conflict, and suffering. Yet, this seems to be part of the design of our human experience. God, in His infinite wisdom, created this separation for us to experience what it means to be human, to evolve, and to ultimately remember our true divine nature. In the grand scheme of things, evil is a necessary part of the experience. It offers us the opportunity to grow, to awaken, and to transcend the limitations of the ego. As long as we continue to live from the egoic perspective, we will encounter evil. But when we begin to connect with our divine essence and move beyond the illusion of separation, we can begin to heal the world and ourselves. The journey back to the divine is one of remembrance, a return to the truth that we are all part of the all, interconnected and eternal. God is present when the mind is absent. This is the key idea that Eckhart Tolle speaks about. The presence of God is always there, just behind your mind. It exists in the background, especially when we live our lives solely from the point of view of our ego identity. While the ego dominates much of our daily experiences, the true essence of God is always there, even though we often don't recognize it. It is a state of nothingness, a void. But this void is full of experience. It is the place where you can truly be, beyond thought, beyond the limitations of your mind. To experience this, you need to quiet your mind. A simple way to start is to sit down comfortably in a quiet, distraction-free space. Ideally, the room should be dark, and you should put on noise-canceling headphones to eliminate as much external noise as possible. Begin by breathing deeply and allowing your body to relax. As you relax, focus on observing your mind. Let go of any tension, and with time, your thoughts will slow down and eventually stop. As your thoughts fade, you may start to feel a floating sensation. This is the void state. This is the state spiritual teachers strive for in their meditations, the pure presence of God without the interference of the egoic human identity. This is what Neville Goddard refers to as the state akin to sleep, a place where your imagination is free to create reality. When you reach this state, whatever you imagine becomes your reality. It is similar to the remote viewing techniques taught by the CIA, where you are able to access other dimensions or places simply by focusing your mind in this clear, empty state. In this state, you can even experience astral travel, have an out-of-body experience, or access the Akashic records, which contain all knowledge. This state of no mind is also what Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about when discussing miraculous healing. By reaching this space of pure presence, you can bring about physical healing. This is the state that magicians aim to reach in order to perform their magic. And it's the same state that Dr. Stephen Greer encourages during his CE5 experiences, where individuals attempt to connect with extraterrestrials and higher dimensional beings. This state is where all magic exists. It is the God state, the void state, and your divine center. It is the place where you first become nothing, only to then become everything. This void is not a state of emptiness, but a state of infinite potential. When you enter it, you tap into that boundless potential. Some may even find that just being in this state, you experience infinite love. This is a state that many people report encountering during near-death experiences, a profound expansion of awareness, a feeling of connectedness to everything, and an overwhelming sense of love. The key to experiencing God in your life is by practicing reaching this state. When you enter it, you connect to the divine essence of the universe. You can become autotelic, self-motivated by living in this state in your waking life. When you quiet your mind and allow yourself to flow with the present moment, you begin to receive intuitive insights, creative inspirations, and subtle hunches. This is akin to what athletes describe as being in the zone. In this state, their bodies seem to move on their own without thinking, as they are fully in alignment with the present moment. This flow is a direct connection to the divine, where you are operating at your highest potential. By practicing entering this void state, you will experience the presence of God in your life. You will tap into infinite possibilities, creativity, and healing. Through this practice, you align with the divine essence and begin to manifest your intentions effortlessly. The more you enter this state, the more you will realize that this presence is not outside of you. It is within you, and it has always been. The key is to quiet the noise of the ego and allow yourself to simply be. In that stillness, you will experience God, and in doing so, you will become more of who you truly are. Over the centuries, what we have witnessed is the control exerted by religions, ideologies, politics, the ruling elite, and their power systems. They indoctrinate you with the concept of a higher power. They make you believe that you are a small human being who needs their guidance and protection. Salvation. You are forced to vibrate at lower emotional frequencies with endless dopamine so that you never break free from the illusion, and so you can become a compliant follower. They don't want you to know who you really are, because you will become free once you realize this and begin to question things. You will become independent in your relationship with God and realize that you don't need to beg. Thus, you will automatically lose interest in following anyone, and you will walk your own path. Slavery ends. Therefore, this knowledge is a prerequisite for breaking free from bondage. But this is just the introduction. You must seek your own answers. Some will ask, if we aren't supposed to know this, why is it allowed to be spread on YouTube? while the powers that be trust in their years of indoctrination and misinformation. Truth, or an alternative viewpoint, often creates fear and requires a brave heart to embrace it. Throughout the videos on this channel, we have been and are building a comprehensive model of reality, attempting to answer questions like how this reality works, who we are, why we are here, and what happens after death. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Thank you for watching. If you learned something from this video, please like, subscribe to the Top Hidden Knowledge channel for more content on wisdom, spirituality, and personal growth. Or if you have time, check out other videos on this channel. Until next time.